Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dale Stonick with ACE Doran. I am the Safety Director here. Joining me today is Jason O'Brien, Hours of Service Manager. Jason, how are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for asking, Dale. Good afternoon, drivers.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and we'll get started with our March Safety Conference call. As usual, we'll go over some of the metrics we have here. So we will look at our CSA scores. So our CSA scores for the ACE BME side is at 80% on vehicle maintenance. Hours of service is at 73%. That did go up 1 percentage point. Unsafe driving did move down 3 percentage points to 67%. So it appears we are moving in the right direction on that basic. I did want to take a second to congratulate our ACE drivers. We've gone the entire month without an unsafe driving in this group, so good job, everybody. Let's just keep that up, and with results like that, we should be able to get that basic underneath the threshold of 65%. Driver fitness is at 43%, and crash is at 37%, and drug alcohol is at 3%. With the WIN government teams, their scores are the following. Vehicle maintenance is at 35%. Hours of service is at 23%. Unsafe driving has moved up 3 percentage points to 4. I know a lot of that was behind those parking issues over at York, Nebraska. Those have obviously hit our record. And the other basics are all at 0 or no scores. Good job, everyone, on that. I did want to talk a little bit about our claims numbers here, if you bear with me. So our claims for ACE, we're still doing pretty well for the quarter, not as well as we were doing last year at this time. Our total claims cost for the first quarter is in at $66,240. I do know that a large percentage of that is attributed to one accident, the rear-end accident we had in February in Wisconsin. About $38,000 from the 66 is coming out of that, which is a large percentage. So it just kind of shows when you have those large accidents, lane changes or rear-end accidents, they really drive up the cost. Still doing all right, but obviously we don't want any more like those accidents. It will definitely affect our bottom line as a company. The other thing I did want to talk a little bit about is just let's make sure we did have a claim from a couple weeks ago, a backing claim, where we were backing up at a shipper and a car was in the area where we were backing up and the two collided. I just remind everybody when you're backing, you always want to make sure you're going over a long distance that you stop. Obviously, secure your truck, put the brakes on and get out and look, or goal, make sure you're doing that. It'll help avoid any type of small claims like that. All right, star 3, if anyone has a question or would like to add a safety tip here at the end of the meeting. Star 3 if you want to go ahead and get into the queue. That way you're already in there, and when we're done, you'll be ready to go. Would like to cover our clean inspections. We had quite a few clean inspections, probably what's attributing to how well we did during the month. So let me start off with Ricky Harkins. Had a clean inspection out of Louisiana. Let's see, Ricky Underwood, clean inspection from Florida. Edward Bader from Indiana had a clean inspection. Joseph Vanek had a clean inspection from Ohio. James Harrison had a clean one from New Mexico. Ernie Caldwell had a clean in South Dakota. Bernie Franzgalio had a clean one in Ohio. Great job, Bernie. William Moore, Ohio. William Moxham, another New Mexico, a clean inspection. A.D. Wilkerson had North Dakota clean inspection. Bart Neiswanger had Indiana clean. Mark Watson clean from Illinois. And then Eugene Hatch had a clean inspection from Kansas. I just want to congratulate everyone on doing that. I thank you so much. We'll go ahead and put your names in a drawing here at the end and get you in for the extra $100. I do want to compliment the drivers who had clean inspections, both James and William out of New Mexico. That is one of those states that they especially key in on for vehicle maintenance. So when you're in those New Mexico, California, New York, Texas, when you're going in those states, please make sure you really look at your equipment so that you can get a clean inspection. That would be really appreciated. appreciated. All right, so I just want to remind everyone, too, here as this is the last couple of days of the first quarter. So if you are due your quarterly inspection, please get that turned in. At the beginning of the week, we still had about 53 owner-operators who needed to get that done. So if you can get those turned in the next couple of days, it would be greatly appreciated. The other thing I want to remind everybody is if you have not done a first quarter safety meeting, now is the opportunity to do that. If you've had no failed inspections or no accidents, you are eligible for the first quarter bonus. You just got to make sure you get the safety meeting in. So we have one last in-person one scheduled for this Saturday at the truck show in Louisville. It would be at the Courtyard by Marriott. We start at 7 o'clock there with breakfast, and then by 8 we will start the meeting. But if you're not in that area, go ahead and go online to Driver's IG and go ahead and get that meeting taken care of. It's only about 15 minutes, and there's 5 questions. I've had a couple of drivers just call me today saying that they're having a couple of issues with the questions hanging up or getting glitched. I just put a ticket in to IT. They're showing that they don't have any issues, but if it continues, let me know, and I'll let them know we've had additional drivers with some concerns with that. Jason, what do you have going on today for us?
Well, I did just want to say there with the safety bonus, that is just free money for most of our drivers, so definitely get your meeting done either in person or online. It's a great way to get a couple extra bucks, not a lot of effort. The things I did want to talk about, though, with logs is we're kind of seeing an increase in some of our drivers with form and manner violations, and particularly on e-logs where drivers are not inputting their shipping documents each day or each load that they would be on. And it's important to keep that bill of lading in there that's up to date and current. So you can do that in Keep Trucking just by clicking on the graph for today, clicking on form, and then changing your shipping documents number. With Rand McNally, each time you go change your duty status, it pops up for you, asking you what the bill of lading is. I've seen where sometimes people are kind of maybe being lazy with it, where they're just typing in like 1, 2, 3, 4, and they just leave that in there all the time, or they're typing in things that they typed in one day and they've left it there ever since. And it might not even make real sense what's in there at all sometimes. So I do want to remind drivers to change your bill of ladings for each load that you get, and make sure that you keep that up to date. We want to make sure we get those easy points on an inspection. Another thing that we're kind of seeing is the signing or certification of logs with e-logs. Each time at the end of your shift is when you should sign your log. That's the appropriate time to do it. If you don't sign it at the end of your shift for whatever day that it might be, you'll show up in having missing signatures on your logs. If you do sign it, you won't show up on that list, even if you're off duty for a couple of days. So please, at the end of the shift, either certify your log or sign it, depending if you have Rand McNally or Keep Trucking. So with those two things out of the way, I did want to invite anybody that might be on paper to give the Keep Trucking app a try. We've had several drivers that have been on paper, and they've been on paper for many, many years, just like a lot of other drivers have, and they liked on paper because they're comfortable with it. However, they've switched to Keep Trucking to do the app. It's something that you can do on a trial basis. So if you want to try it for a week, give me a call. We'll put you on it, and you can see how you like it. If you end up not liking it, you think it's worse than paper, please go ahead and switch back. I want you to be comfortable if you're a paper log guy to be comfortable. But the majority of drivers that switch definitely enjoy it. They think it's a lot easier. You don't have to draw any lines. You don't have to keep track of your time. You don't have to do some of the things that you do now as far as your recap and stuff like that, because it's done for you automatically. You do still have to send your logs in, but it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to take a picture of it in Drive Axle or mail it in. There's just a little box next to each day, and when you want to send them in, say if you were to send them in for the week, you just click the little box for that week you want to send. At the top, you would hit send and then send them to Safety at Doran. Every time they come through crystal clear, so like I was saying before, you don't have to worry about the Drive Axle maybe being blurry and having to resend documents. They're perfect every time when they come in. So that's a a good thing that I'd like to invite any of the paper law guys maybe to give a try. There's also some helpful reminders for violations that might be occurring where you might not recognize it on paper. So, of course, the dates are always right. That's something that a lot of drivers have issues with, is sometimes writing them incorrect dates, and this would, of course, always be the right date. But if you didn't sign something or if you didn't have your mileage in, the app reminds you to put those things in so you don't get those violations should you get inspected. But, yeah, just give it a shot. If you're willing to do so, I'm happy to work with you through it. And it might be something you like and wish you were doing 5 years ago, which is what I hear from the majority of drivers that do try it. If you hate it, of course, you can just go back to paper, and at least we gave it a shot. So, and then the other thing, Dale, I did want to mention today is, with that being said, for drivers that are on Keep Trucking, with that being kind of the system that we're using going forward, I have created some instructional videos on short videos that kind of show you how to do one specific thing. So if you're a driver and you're maybe trying to figure out how to do a DVIR and Keep Trucking and you just forgot for whatever reason, if you go to acedoran.com and click on Drive with Ace Doran, there's a Keep Trucking ELD tab. When you click on that tab, it is going to have, right now there's 6 videos there, but one of those is in fact DVIR. You could click on that video. It's about 2 minutes long, and it will show you how to complete a DVIR, whether you have defects on your vehicle or if you don't have defects. So it shows you both ways and how to save that and be a part of your log. And there's, of course, other videos there that are just like that. They're all about 2 to 3 minutes and show you how to do that one specific thing. That way you don't have to watch like a 30-minute video or try to find the spot where you just need that one specific part. So please go there if you're having maybe trouble. You can watch them. Of course, always give me a call here. So that's kind of the things I wanted to talk about today, Dale. You want to go ahead and pick it back up?
Yeah, thank you so much. Since you did bring that to my attention, thanks for reminding me. If you do have a roadside inspection and where you had a couple of items noted on a roadside was vehicle maintenance noted, it is a requirement that you fill out a DVIR for that day with those noted defects. When we review that when drivers turn in the roadside and we go to cross-check their logs, a number of drivers forget to make that particular entry on their log. So just to remind everybody, if you're involved in a roadside inspection and any defects that are noted, even if you repaired them right there on site, it still has to go on your DVIR that day, that whatever was noted on that roadside needs to be put as a defect, and then you, in fact, repaired it or someone else repaired it for you, but it still has to be on your log. Just a good reminder. So with that, let's just remind everybody, *3 if you have a question or safety tip you would like to ask us. Right now there's nobody in queue, so it is a good time to go ahead and do that. That way you will be ready and the first one up. Jason, so I do want to mention, I kind of feel like we're almost to spring. I know on the calendar it says we're spring, but I know there's some places that still have winter driving that they're dealing with. But I would like to just mention a couple of spring driving tips for everybody. Slow down. Most at-fault accidents are due to excessive speed. Keep alert for bad road conditions. Harsh winter weather produces pothole and other obstacles. Spring rain will cause slippery roads due to mixture of water and other contaminants. It's a good time to replace your worn-out wiper blades. They may not be up to the task of clearing your windshield. Start watching out for animals. It's time of the year, especially during early morning and evening hours, where animals are going to be on the move. That's where we usually get the deer strikes. And, of course, if you cannot slow down, please do not veer out for deer. Maintain your lane and, hit them if you must. So, hailstorms. We're moving into that time of the weather season where hailstorms can come. Just even small hailstorms can break windshields. Just be alert of that. As the weather gets warmer, start looking out for cyclists. They'll get out on the roadway. Make sure you're aware of them. Give them plenty of room so we don't have an issue with hitting a cyclist. Same goes with motorcyclists, too. Watch out. You're going to start seeing construction zones will start happening here. So make sure you are slowing down as directed, and be on the lookout for workers and equipment may suddenly come in and out of the roadway on that job site. And, of course, if it's severe weather during, heavy rains, A lot of our best drivers just get off the road, don't risk it. A couple of tips I just thought of before the meeting here. So we'll go ahead and start 3. Waiting for, we got a couple of callers in queue. While we are waiting, Jason wants to draw for our winner here. All right.
All right, let's get our clean inspection winner.
It is James Harrison. James, we will go ahead and get out your $100 gift card to you. Congratulations.
Yeah, way to go, James.
All right, so we got a couple of drivers in queue here. Looks like Ricky is first up. Jason, if you want to go ahead and take that for us. James, are you there? Or I'm sorry, Ricky, are you there?
Yeah, this is Rick.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great today. Hey, I don't really have any questions, just putting in a plug for Keep Trucking, just the app. It is great.
Well,
for the guys who aren't on it, that are on paper, give it about 3 weeks. You'll love it. You know, it is a little bit of a curve, but it fills in everything for you. I mean, all you got to do is draw your lines, and it puts in your location. It spells like for fuel. If you just, you know, it gives you a drop-down window. You touch fuel, or pre-trip inspection. I mean, you just touch it, and it's great. It works just fine.
Cool. Well, that's great. It's good to hear that, Ricky. And that's normally what we do here from drivers that use the app over the paper. Once they give it a shot, they really enjoy it versus paper.
And
so
Jason,
thanks for the comment there.
And Jason, just to confirm, we're not paying him any sort of promotional fee, right?
This is not a paid testimonial.
No, it's not. It isn't a paid promo or anything like that. The app's free.
That's right.
Or mine. I've had it like 3 years, so I don't know if they charge for it now or not. But
well, no, they sure don't.
They don't charge me anything for it.
Nope, and they
it
won't
works great.
Yep, and they won't charge anybody else for it.
So I was just putting a plug in for some guys that might be leery of it. Don't be afraid of it. It's fine. I was scared of it at first, but they made me do it because I was a guinea pig when all this come out. And so, yeah, I was a little rebellious toward it. I'll admit it. I was rebellious. But after a while, I thought, hey, this isn't so bad. This is all. You're not leaving no paper trail. you just fill it out and go. So, and it gives you, like you say, it gives you the warnings. It lets you know, oops, I missed my 30-minute break, or it's coming up. Or my driving, it lets you know an hour before, hey, you better find a parking place. So it's good. It lets you know things. So
good to hear.
Don't be afraid of it, guys. Go ahead and take it.
All right,
That's all I had to say. All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, so *3, if anyone has a tip or a question. Looks like we have Sean up on the line next. Sean, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Hey, one quick question. Which Marriott you guys going to have that safety meeting at in Louisville?
It is the Marriott, or Courtyard by Marriott. It's right next to the convention center.
Oh, it's right next to. Okay.
Yep.
I wasn't sure exactly which one. There's a ton of them, so I didn't know which one you guys would be at. You said that'd be.
I don't have the address at the top of my head, but if you go to the driver's ID, we have it listed on there with the exact address.
All right. Then the other thing I was going to talk about was we talked about dash cams a lot. I went out a little out and beyond on this. But I went and bought a 3-camera system.
Oh, wow.
I would highly recommend this 3-camera system to everybody. This 3-camera system, you got 2 cameras pointing backwards on each mirror and then one in the front. And you literally can see everything. The issues I had on the road was drivers texting, not paying attention, cross lines, and about hitting my trailer. And I got to think about how in the world am I going to cover myself. So I broke down and I bought me this 3-camera system. It wasn't very expensive. I'm telling you what, it is nice. I mean, you can see all the way to the end of the trailer on both sides of the truck. It eliminates blind spots all the way up to the door. I mean, all you got to do is look in the camera. You can flip from. It automatically flips between cameras, so you it stays on the one that's looking behind, and I got it set up where it's a split screen.
Okay, I was going to ask how that works.
Yeah, what I got to do is right now how I got it set, it automatically records going forward, which I already see what's going forward. I set the screen up on the other two cameras, and I can actually look at it, and I can see both cameras all the way down to the end of my trailer. It's a pretty nice little ordeal.
Is it just one camera has the chip in it then, or how does that work?
There's 3 cameras total. It's made by Eagle Eye.
Okay.
And you get an Eagle Eye, kind of like the ones that you guys offered about a year ago. I got one. Only difference is it's got some cables that stick out. And these cameras actually plug into this Eagle Eye, and it runs off of 2 SDM chips. Records. Okay. Yeah, it's got 2 of them. One's for the two side ones, and then the other one's for the front one. And if something happens, it automatically freezes that area. If I'm hit or something, it's got a motion detector, GPS locator.
Oh, wow.
It's got all kinds of little beauties on it. I kind of got it online. Of course, I'm a cheapie, so I kind of got a cheaper version of it, which came with a lot of wires, which I really cussed to after I put it in. But now that I've got it in, it's a really nice setup, and it really gives a whole view of the whole truck. So you can see, because I know a lot of drivers, they've had other drivers come over on them, almost sideswipe them, almost they can hit their trailer or something, and car might cross the center line or something like that. Well, now I've got evidence that, when they say I supposedly hit them, now I have evidence stating and showing what has happened.
Oh, that's good.
So I would highly recommend drivers looking into that. It's even got the date and the time stamped, everything on it, so it records everything right for you, showing what speed you're going, everything.
All right, excellent.
But I just want to give that one up, and then I just want to find out about the Marriott, and that's about it.
All right, thank you, Sean.
All right, thank you. You guys have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Sean. All right, just to remind everybody, star C if you have a question or a safety tip. Looks like we have one more individual here in the queue. Ryan, how are you?
I am doing fabulous. Just a quick question. On the Keep Trucking app, is that programmable like the Rand McNally for the 30-minute break?
Absolutely.
Because, like I said, we don't take the 30-minute break with the oversize. And I know the Rand McNally was set that way.
Oh, yeah, and for the drivers on the call that don't know, Ryan is one of our WIN drivers. And when they're loaded, they don't have to take a break. And I'm glad you bring that up. Another hours of service thing is that I do sometimes see WIN drivers not taking a 30-minute break when they should be, when they're not loaded. So make sure you do that.
See, no, I'm oversized all the time, even when I'm empty.
And you have a permit?
Yes, sir, all the time.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you have a permitted load issued by a government authority, that's when you can miss that 30-minute break.
I just was wondering if, like I said, I know the Rand McNally was set up because I've had it that way since day one, but I didn't. Now that I'm switching to Keep Trucking, I was curious about that. So, all right, well, thank you. That was my question.
All right, no problem. I'll make sure that it's in that way for you, okay?
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Ryan.
We'll see you, Ryan.
Bye.
All right. Currently, we do not have any additional drivers in the queue, so if you want to have a question or a tip, go ahead and hit star 3, and we can obviously put you right up to the front. We'll just wait here a minute or so and see if anyone wants to join in. But with that, so like a couple of callers mentioned, we do have one safety in-person meeting left here for this quarter in Louisville this Saturday at the truck show. That's going to be at the courtyard by Marriott. It's right there by the convention center. And then I just remind everybody, if you are due this quarter, get your inspections turned in and turn in your maintenance report also. That would be greatly appreciated. So we do have a couple additional people that just joined in. Jason, if you want to bring James onto the line.
All right, here comes James.
James, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good today.
What's up?
I got a question on fuel receipts.
Okay.
when we buy fuel under our ICC number at Ace Doran,
Okay.
our receipts are coming back off the EFS and say Bennett, and I've had 2 officers in the scales both tell me that our receipts are supposed to match our truck, the name on the door of the truck.
So your fuel receipts are saying Bennett, but I know you have Ace Doran because you're a wind driver. It says Ace Doran LLC.
And our fuel receipts are supposed to match the name on the door of the truck and the ICC number, and they don't when we buy fuel with our EFS card because it's all under Bennett, so it comes back with Bennett on the receipt.
I'll have to look into that.
And I've had 2 DOT officers tell me if they really wanted to press it, that could cause us a major problem.
Because I know there's multiple divisions within our organization, like Boss and Bennett Truck Transport, and.
Well, the way they explained it to me is they figure it by the ICC number.
All right.
And if we're running under Ace Doran ICC number, we're supposed to have Ace Doran on the door and Ace Doran on our receipts.
Do you know, did they give you a code that we can cross-reference that to?
They haven't given me a code yet. They just explained to me that I wasn't doing it right, but if I would be good, they wouldn't write me a ticket at the time.
All right, so.
And I wasn't going to argue that point.
All right. I'll ask somebody in our fuel department. So it's coming across as Bennett, even though we're buying it on the EFS card, and we're obviously Ace. All right, I'll get back to you, James, and see, all right?
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right, thank you, James. Looks like we have one additional caller with Chad. Chad, how are you? Chad?
Yes.
Oh,
hello.
Hello, how are you?
Okay. I was wondering what, hey, over on, because we're talking about deer and this time of snow melting, ice melting, overflood rivers like in Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, and now South Dakota and North Dakota and pretty much anything along the Mississippi too. The great is app over on the Apple phone because that's what I do have over on me is the radar, my radar or WeatherBug, because you can go in and tune those up. So you can look up and say, okay, we have flooding in this area. It's showing flooding. It shows everything. And even you can get the guys that are doing like the storm chasing, because this time of year we're dealing with tornadoes. And those can come out in the middle of nowhere in a bad storm. So just, just there's some tips of getting some of the apps over on your phone, and it's what we do and everything else over here is pretty much try to make sure that we're not going to get caught in or caught up.
That's actually good. That is good advice. It's always wise when you're off on a new load to do the trip planning and looking at the weather of where you're going into.
Mm-hmm.
But the tips you have of alerts as far as flooding and tornadoes too is, obviously something you need to know so you're not in harm's way.
Yeah, and South Dakota I-90 is, or not South Dakota, I think it's, it'd be South Dakota and across I-90 and all that is shut down because of flooding. I think that's North Dakota. But it's up in that area. Those two states are real heavily because they're flooding because all the ice is melting. So
I think you're right. It's I-90 that goes across South Dakota east-west. So, But thank you for those tips. I really appreciate it. That is good advice for sure.
Great information.
All right. Oh, well, we got one additional call that just popped in there. You want to go ahead and bring John on the line?
Yep, here we go.
John, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Been better, but I'm hanging in there.
Oh, that's good. What's up?
I was two callers ago. The guy was talking about the ACE not being on the fuel receipt.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed last week, or well, actually a couple of weeks ago, ACE is no longer on my bill of lading either. And as far as I know, technically DOT can do something about that as well.
Huh. Well, that's kind of odd. That because your bill of ladings they're all GE.
Yeah, it says in the second box below GE down there, it says Bennett Motor Express now. Really? And as long as I can remember, it said ACE.
Huh. Well, now I'll look at that too and see why that's showing up.
If they're going to be sticklers about a fuel receipt, the bill of lading's a little more important than the fuel receipt, in my opinion.
Yeah, let's see. I'll look at some bill of ladings here as soon as the call gets over and just see what's going on with that. All right, thank you for giving me additional work, John.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, I'll look into those and I'll get back to you guys, all right?
All right, later.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Well, with that, it appears we do not have any additional callers, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I just want to thank everyone for a really good first quarter here. Appreciate all the hard work. Go ahead and, if you can, get your safety meeting in. As Jason said, it's only 10 to 15 minutes. If you don't have any accidents and you've had clean roadsides, you're eligible for it, and you might as well get 1% of your revenue you made for the quarter. It's definitely worth your time and effort. So thank you so much. Jason?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the drivers that had clean inspections this month. Thank you for taking care of your equipment. And I know that's probably not one of the more fun parts of the job, and it's a difficult job that you guys do every day. I just appreciate what you do out there for us. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.